So we didn't know if this was just a pre-planned thing or we just didn't know about it, but in general, this game just seems like it's a never-ending cycle of disappointment. It's one of them things where this year, I just feel like they're going from almost from weakness to weakness in just dismantling everything they've built. Now, if you've not played many FIFA's FCs, we've had two of them now, but I've been playing since back in FIFA 04. FIFA 09 was obviously the first original Ultimate Team, and since then we've seen upgrade players so you could get people to 99. We've saw no club, I've saw a collection book, I've then saw the upgrades, we saw informs added, special cards added, team of the season finally becoming a thing, to the point of the game now where we're at. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I do think in general when you look at this game, it was inevitable. I think more than anything, if you was to be able to go to like the promo packs more so than anything, that is the kind of key thing here. Like these sort of packs here is what personally for me, I didn't like the introduction of. I liked where we had the 100k packs. Yes, you had lightning rounds, and if you can remember way back when, happy hour during like, well, it's got to have been like FIFA 13, FIFA 12 at times, and then obviously back in like FIFA 16 times, you had the happy hour where you basically got a double chance of man of the matches, international man of the matches. But now we're at a point where guaranteed ratings for me have just killed the game off completely, because it's not only that they've kind of changed from the 100k pack to then the ultimate pack into the 125. Then we saw the introduction of a 200k pack, a 500k pack. Heck, I'm surprised we haven't saw a million coin pack just yet, but in general we're seeing now multiple crazy amounts of packs. We're seeing guaranteed Prem times 2, 92 guaranteed Prem, 90 plus Prem player packs. There's so much to literally just get this feeling right here. Now, I get it, and I think most games do have to find some sort of level where they are comfortable going towards. So it's kind of like this. If you go to the provision, in fact, if we go to around this time, do we see, so it is this level. So these, like quite literally, tradable 88 plus. You've got 125k. If we can go further, you got team of the season mixed, includes 15 players from the Premier League, Barclays, WSL, 275. I mean, the level of packs is absolutely outrageous. We saw there the 92 plus. What was that one? How much? It's like 575 or something like that. Let's see if I can get it on there, because obviously the menu's down at the moment. What was that? That's the essentials, and then we've obviously got that one, 575 for the Prem. It's outrageous at times, and especially because coins, yes, I'm all a big advocate of using as many coins as possible, more so than utilizing your FC points, because 4,000 points, I'm pretty sure what, about 20 quid, something like that, something around there. You're looking anywhere between like 15 to 30 because you've got the bulks, and that's another thing that they know. They know they don't sell a 4,000, so you've either got to go one up, or you've got to do like say the 3-6 and then add a 500, meaning you have 100 left over. It's very clever, and that's why personally I will state whenever I think FC points are worth it, because there's definitely times where it is better to utilize it than it is to use coins. But there is also a very, very grey line between them that you don't want to get sucked into that thing, because they're marketing geniuses. They've made billions upon billions every single year in these sort of tactics, let alone that with the evolutions that we've got, the multiple 150, 350, 250. These don't sell at 250. You've either got to buy 300s, meaning you'll have 50 left, or you've got to buy a 500. You got 250 left. So if, say, you manage to do both of these, fantastic, you're out of that cycle. But the moment you throw in a 350 and a 250, you've got to do 1,080 or 1,800. It's very clever to get into that sort of element of the game. And yes, you can use coins. It's why I always say coins are your best friends when it comes to this. You can make them, and I will always give you every hint to be able to try and make as many coins as possible so you don't have to get stuck in this cycle. But it's the cleverness now of where the game's at, because even though, well, to be honest, I'd be very interested, because even though I know that the gameplay side of stuff is definitely not as warranted, I bet people are still spending crazy amounts of money. We've got packs to be able to buy. We've got a premium pass, which in coins value isn't terrible, but I guarantee a lot of people have saved the coins and just utilized points. We have evolutions that require points. Heck, even if SBCs required points, I guarantee people would use them. We are at a point now where they are marketing everything. And the problem we have is there's too many players. The gameplay is not good enough. For me personally, I just don't like the playstyle pluses. I thought it was a great invention, and I do think you've got to go somewhere with the gameplay. You can't just re-release it every single time. But I think the kind of introduction of all these playstyle pluses were great for them to be able to make multiple players, but it wasn't necessarily going to work in the right direction, especially now they've added roles in as well. I'm just not a big fan unless they gave us more evolutions or more chances to give players better striking abilities. So like, for instance, Cunha right here. This is a great example. 328,000, good player. Great stats, good playstyle pluses. I like the finesse, I like the power shot, I like the first touch. He's a cam. So when we look at his roles, playmaker plus, okay. Shadow striker plus plus, fantastic. What if I don't have cam? Okay, you can play left wing. Inside forward plus plus. It's pretty decent. I mean, I can take him there. What if I have left mids instead? So, okay, we'll go striker. False 9 plus plus isn't the one. I don't think it ever has been. Targeted forward plus, advanced forward plus. So already, I'm already behind all of the strikers I've got. You go into CR7, you go to the Strike Force 94 player, you go into any of the other strikers that have that advanced forward plus plus, it's much better. Even then, you throw in a Cam who can't necessarily have a role plus plus as a striker, doesn't have any passing playstyles. Not one. Not even. He has flair, you have first touch, more dribbling, more so than anything. And then failing that, you could then go to the other option of looking at someone like Saka. We look at Saka at a 93. It's an upgrade. It most definitely is. From the Thunderstruck that came out on November 29th, we have had a free upgrade for him, which I get. They're obviously waiting for him to build up. They don't want to make everybody 95, 96. That's fair enough. But a 93 at this point is a bit of a slap in the face. He's got the technical, the finesse, and the press proven. I like the finesse. I'm not a fan of the technical. The press proven can stay. But the problem is let alone upgrading the 90, we could go all the way back to the 87 and make him into a 93 with the right mid inside forward. Give him a quick step, which is an elite level playstyle plus. Pinged pass, fantastic, and the finesse. And in terms of stats, we are pretty much the same. Yes, you've got to pay 125,000 for him, but he's better. Even if you took away all of the other upgrades, he is better than this. It just makes no sense that we can have a card at a 93 team of the season and we could make the 87 better in the evolution. And this is where I think they are getting confused. We're having players now just be upgraded left, right and centre, and there's just no thought behind them. You're just going for the standard. You look at someone like a Salah. You've obviously got multiple upgrades. It's not the first time. We've obviously seen generations where they are just going too much. You don't need all these cards, and the difference is this time is this was a lot. Like that's a lot of upgrades for him. Still very hard to pack. You obviously had to choose, did you want to complete the player of the months? It was very hard to get a Salah regardless. But the difference is the evolutions didn't really come as thick and as fast. They were very hand-picked, whereas this year we have got so many, like an abundance of evolutions. You go to the expired and you just look down how many we could find. If we can go down, you just look at the level of these. And yes, some of them are the free Maradona. They're obviously there's Zidane, they're the streets won't forget. But even if you take all of them away, there is so many. If you wanted to choose the meta players, this is the level from, 6 months now? About 8 months of the game. It is just too much. And the problem is it's not necessarily now upgrading to the point, like obviously they took a while to upgrade from your 83s to your 85s. But we're now at the point where we've got active Evos going up to 94, going up to a 93, a 92, giving the triple playstyle pluses. And that is fantastic if everybody had a quadruple. but only a set few have. Salah have it, Virgil van Dijk has it, Rice has it, and you can definitely tell because these are the players most of the time that are in the higher kind of bracket. But you look at it, Isaac, obviously incredible, Haaland's even dropped down at 380. There's just no need to upgrade him. When we look at Haaland, he's had a decent season. He's not necessarily gone too crazy, obviously 21 goals, but we got a player of the month right at the start of the game, in form. We got a trailblazer, winter wildcard. Then obviously we went into a team of the year honourable, then obviously into a FUT birthday, and then into this. And not one of them is over 500,000 coins. It's absolutely crazy. And to be honest, the best chance you've got is keeping the 91 and just evolving him in literally probably a week, 2 weeks time, because 91s are now a thing. So it's already at the point where you kind of just don't bother with it either. Then you throw the gameplay on it. I think personally for me, the gameplay has probably been one of the worst we've seen. I think it's too slow in my liking, and I get they're trying to go tactically with it. They're trying to change the gameplay completely in terms of making it almost as close to real life football. It has changed. The game in general has evolved into that pass and move. But the problem is you even see pro players now. You used to see a bit of flair, bit of skill, passing, one touch. Now it is pretty much who can go for the main counter-attack and who can hold the ball for the longest. And I get it, you obviously play the gamesmanship, that's fine. On the top level, mistakes are very minuscule. In the actual game, I probably haven't seen so many end-to-end goals, but not even necessarily through bad defending or incredible attacking option. It just seems that the game is scripted that way. You score a goal, you could score in literally the 65 minute. You have been absolutely at the throat. You have got 10, 15 shots. The moment you score, it seems to be like your players just open up a little bit, and within the first 5 minutes they've probably already equalized. And again, it could be argued why you hold the ball a little bit better, but in general I've just never found the gameplay to be that warranted. I felt like I've been trying to go away from it. You look at the SBCs that we've got, to be honest, player SBCs, because of the evolutions, have been possibly the worst I've ever seen, just purely on the fact I don't need to do them. And that's the problem. You can either pack a player or evolve a player, or just keep the player that you've got knowing they're going to evolve. We've saw it many times with endless amounts of play, like the Saka option. If he was an SBC, you'd be saying the exact same for an evolution perspective. Why would I do the SBC? We had Due on a team of this season, then obviously having him on a player of the month as well. If we get an evolution for him, what's the point doing the way more expensive one in comparison? We obviously have the upgrade packs, and this is kind of the big problem with upgrades, is they've now added obviously the females to it, but there's no separation. We are looking at just Prem, and we're looking at Prem and BWSL together. When we're looking at Champs rewards, they are together now. We used to get a major minor team of the season. Why do we not have that as well? Maybe you have one Prem choice, or depending on your rank, you have one Prem choice, one Prem and BWSL, or one BWSL pick, and one EFL. If you get rank 1, you get 3 Prem, 1 BWSL, and EFL. Why keep them together? Because we know full well that the difference in kind of rating in terms of what you want on the game is massive. It's great that we've got all of these additions on. It's great for SBC fodder. It's great just in general to have more options to play with. Sure is a fantastic card. We've obviously got a lot of solid options. Even last week we saw Horan, a very, very nice card. Mateo, beautiful card. Chewinga, super sub, left wing, whatever you want. There's so many options that you can go with. But when it comes to the rewards, you are just getting the fodder, because it's not necessarily the problem of putting them together. It's the fact that every team has the bottom feeders. It has the 18k cards. If you put two 22-man or 22-man and women teams together, so you've got, say, 28 cards that you're going to put in, the likely chance of the 20 or the 15 that are below 40k you get is massive. There's like a 0.01% chance you get a Salah, or you even get someone like a McAllister, or even someone like a Chowinga, or someone on that sort of level. It's virtually impossible. You throw EFL in there, and then unfortunately it's just game over completely. But it's just the problem they've got with upgrades, and that's kind of the biggest issue. And especially right now, I'm seeing, especially in Team of the Season, a lot of teams not even incorporating. Unless they've got the best of the best, a Dembele, a Barcola, a Salah, anybody of that sort of magnitude, the teams are still the same. Evolutions have taken them to them heights where you don't need to have them players. And yes, everybody is pretty much just sitting here. We'll do the 83 times 14. I'll do the Premier League upgrades if I can be bothered. 84 times 5 a day. I'll do the 86 picks and I'll do the 83 times 10s. Once that's done, the premium upgrades, I can't really be bothered to upgrade anymore. I'll do the team of the season trade-in. I might set up my club for the next day. I might get the team of the weeks until we need them. Obviously, we are running out of them as well, so we won't even need to do them after, because the 83 times 14 is team of the season or team of the week. So I'm already at a point where I'm like, I don't need to do that anymore. So you're kind of just going through a cycle of just completing what you can. We've had some good icons. Thuram, incredible. I've loved Hullet. Drogba's a fantastic card. The SBC players are not the problem. They're not the bad option that we've got. There's some lovely ones in here. You go further down for a Bruno G. Katoto's a great card. I love Vardy. Bit expensive, but he's still a good card nonetheless. We then obviously have got Doué. Love him. Ericsson for a Man U squad. Brilliant. There's been a lot of good players, but the problem is not necessarily that they're here. It's the fact that there's so many other options that we can go with. So it is kind of a double-edged sword with the game, and I think they are just slowly running into the point where gameplay is just not good enough in general. I like the menu content to some extent. It's a little bit boring because it is the same every single time, and I think it was different when it was team of the year grind, team of the season grind, bit of footage grind. It was kind of like them points where you went crazy. In between, you are managing your club. You're doing whatever daily SBCs can come out, because there was far and few. It wasn't doing 25 daily upgrades every single day. We haven't got time for that. The completionist gold, the objectives gold, then throwing in the evolution playtime. It's too much. And if you miss one, you just miss it all. So it is just a point where I'm like, something really needs to change on the game. I don't know what it could be. Whether they strip back some of the content of it, just make something a little bit more manageable. We are getting so much that it is quite literally even past a full-time opportunity, let alone trying to play any other games in this. This is the sole focus of it, and I think that is kind of the biggest issue. As much as I always enjoy having this game to fall back on. It's the same as like a Rocket League. It's the same as how Rematch is probably going to be. It is one of them games that when you get sick of everything else, I can't be bothered to grind anything, I'll just stick a game on. That's what FC used to be. It's what FIFA used to be. Instead of kind of grinding through your next Oblivion run through or going through of a Forza Horizon run, you couldn't be bothered to do a race. You could play a Rivals game, a squad battle game. You could go into friendlies. It was about that, and now it's just not the point, to be honest. It just is far too much, and it kind of states when you look at this team of the season and think, on release, we had more under 100k than we did above, and that was Prem team of the season. It used to be the number one most hyped. It may not have been the number one best, because most definitely you look at the latest team of the seasons, the Serie A, the Bundes, the La Liga, they get bumped up massively because they're at the end already. But you look at the Prem, it's normally the most hyped. They may have the most inflated prices and may drop down relatively quick, but from the get-go, Bruno was under 100k. We saw Rice drop over half a mil. Obviously, Palmer's not even over half a mil. Gravenberch has dropped 400. We are seeing so many players just not worth even trying. Look at the bench in general. Other than Lewis Skelly as a new format, obviously Cunha, we're seeing Kirkeres and McAllister that will be under 100k by the end of the week. It's absolutely crazy. So let me know what you're at with it. It's just an interesting point to kind of follow. I think it is a very interesting point in general with the game that it just isn't being played as much. And I think a lot of people could kind of see that, but it is interesting to see where we can kind of go with this, because we are looking at maybe a slightly lesser cycle of a game now, especially if footage doesn't really produce anything, because all we're going to get is quadruple playstyle pluses on 98 and 99 cards. So what is the major difference? You look at a Salah and think 2 ratings higher, and we've already got the quadruple. I doubt they do 5. I think that takes it over. The only way I think they could really, I don't even know if it would help this game personally, but only way that they could potentially make it a little bit more interesting is adding more playstyle pluses if they want to do that. but going over the 99. I think that is a barrier that potentially they do need to go over. So let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.